Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Snakes and Adders event in which the Tai-Pan is added to the game, so let's get into that. As far as this troop, it is an epic, which means its trait stones are going to be coming in very cheap, only 200 glory per arcane trait stone. Earlier on in the game, you'd want to throw this onto either Monkey, Disciple, or a Treant, and later on into the game, you would either want to put it into a Tai-Pan, a Mercy, and or a Christinex, as well as several others like Web Spinner, and there are a lot of good green blues out there, so definitely a good time to go stock up on them if you don't want to go and have to go farm them out in Magrim Woods. As far as the troop itself, it is basically another version of Mercy, which Mercy is insanely good. This is nowhere near as good of a Mercy because its side effect is quite a bit less, but still same general premise. It has a transform a specific color, in this case brown, into a different color, which in this case is red. Gets a random poison, which is a lot less than what a Mercy does, but of course what makes it exactly the same, or at least similar, is it has empowered. So it's empowered directly into a first turn convert, which could be a lot of mana generation. This one isn't really too relevant because most things that have red tend to also include yellow, or at least most of the better ones out there. So this isn't going to be used in too many more things than a Mercy would, and in many instances a Mercy would just be better, but there are a few niche red teams out there that do exclusively need him a bit more than that of a Mercy. So overall, going to be a pretty decent troop. So definitely one to go pick up, and you'll probably be getting a lot of copies of him anyways, maybe all the way up to Mythic just from getting the pretty good trait stone off him as well. Anyways, that's him. As far as the actual event objectives themselves, we do have a new legend that came into this game. I will not actually be showing anything for it because it is 110% dead content. You should never use this troop ever. The only reason you should ever even get this troop is because you want it for collection purposes in order to upgrade your kingdom stars. There's literally zero applicable purposes to actually using this troop on your team. But nonetheless, I will be throwing down event keys. I would advise against doing this if you are a early to mid game player, just because this troop is pretty useless, and the only other drop really in the table right now is Vinoxia, which is also similarly useless, and Uriali, which is extremely rare, which is pretty mid tier, not really that important if you do end up getting it. So yeah, I would avoid event keys. Only thing that may kind of be worth it, I guess, is maybe a Marilith. You could probably get in about 10 to 20 if you don't already have the 6 true damage to everything. This thing, it does 6 true damage, and this early on in the game can be pretty high, and it gets you a little bit of your mana back. But other than that, that's like the only thing from this kingdom that you would really need as a newer player. But we'll keep going until we get the new legend, and there you can see is the new legend. It deals damage to an enemy and then poisons and charms them. This is the only troop that has a targetable charm in the game, though at how high of a mana cost it is, you're better off using literally any other charmer other than her to get a similar purpose. And as far as its trait, it's basically 1/4 for Kraken. It deals damage to a random enemy whenever an ally casts a spell. And yeah, Kraken can not only spam its ability way more often off of just extra turn spam, but also this only does it to one random enemy instead of all. So yeah, this thing is completely useless, never use it. But of course we need to go get it just for upgrade purposes. Also there was a Vinoxia there, that's not too relevant either. Let me just go show that real quick as well, as it is somewhat related to the kingdom, but still not really worth going for. It creates 9 green, 9 blue, gains, or does 4 true damage to all enemies, and then gains a bit of attack. And it randomly poisons enemies every single time you extra turn. Pretty useless troop. And both of them, just in general, pretty useless legends. Really wish they could do something to make Mr. Scales a little bit better in that regard, but oh well. But yeah, don't throw event keys, both are useless, and the chance of getting a Uriali is way too small for you to bother event key spamming it. Anyways, as far as bonuses, we have ourselves 10% to all Mr. Scales and 10% to all Nagas. This is somewhat okay, even though most Nagas are relatively useless, though almost every Naga is in Mr. Scales, so there are a lot of troops that do have 20% bonus this week. Pretty much every single one of them, because I believe like 90% of Nagas, if not more, are all reside in specifically Mr. Scales. Other than that, we do get 400 gold whenever using a Tai-Pan in the Explore. So definitely a really good time to go use some kind of like Sunbird team and Explore, spam out all the gold, and get pretty decent rates for that. And lastly, we have to go play a bunch of treasure maps to go get our event gems. So that's going to take about an hour and a half, 2 hours or so, just spamming out maps to go get all those rewards. Definitely worth it though. A lot of gems there. some gem keys, Raven not too relevant, but at least pretty substantial amount of resources like there is every single week there. As far as the Soul Forge, there's actually literally nothing in the entire Soul Forge that's even remotely worth crafting. There's a crack in here, though I wouldn't really bother going for it, despite it being somewhat above average, but still, unless you desperately wanted it. This was the trait I was referring to as well earlier. Deals 3 damage to all enemies whenever you take an extra turn. So basically 4 times more effective than the new legend that came in today. So yeah, don't even bother with the new legend. You can just go Kraken. So other than that, yeah, I believe that's pretty much everything then, because we don't need to go over anything for this. I will have a video a little bit later going over some of the more Guild Wars stuff. I know some of you have been asking about like defend teams and stuff like that. And I've been working on it, and we do have a video that's going to be coming out, kind of just summarizing a few of those teams for you guys. But let's go into the new teams that we're going to be using with the new Typhon troop. So we're going to start with this one. We're running with Assassin, which currently has 20% this week when using the Assassin class, because it's both a Naga and a Mista Scales. We're using this really weird weapon that basically never gets any play. It creates 9 reds. That's the whole reason why we're using this, the Urskea Crown. And we're using this with Yagway, Queen Titania, and the new Tapon. Basically what we're going to be doing here is throwing this down immediately into a brown to red convert. This will then allow us to Yagway to convert all the reds to purple, and then from there we will just go and keep spamming out Queen Titania. So we just do exactly that, get that down, we get a Fairy Fire every single time. Fairy Fire does 50% additional damage off of our magic. She places it every single time we get an extra turn. Just simply throw the Yagway in there, converts all red to purple, hits the first 2, and we basically just keep repeating this until we win. Throw Queen Titania for a free extra turn every single time there's 13 or more. Get this down whenever we see it available, and we already won the battle. And yeah, that's pretty much what that does. Hey, apparently we got a pet. Oh, I need to go do that later. Anyways, that's what that team looks like. As you can see, it functions similarly as a Mercy, except in this case, obviously, if we had a Mercy, that would not function. But since we can go and use a Typhon now, that works pretty well for getting the reds that we need to make this team function. And that's pretty much the instances where you would use it, where specifically red spamming is ridiculously important for your team. And many red spam teams do lack either green and or blue, as they're not really common colors on red spamming troops. Next up, we're going to be going a Doomskull variant, as well as the other one's also going to be a Doomskull variant. This one's focused more around a Hellcat Ender to get the Doomstorm Infinite Loop off the Bloodhammer there. So right off the bat, ideally we'd have alignment for our convert, and we do 2 times in a row. Very nice. Always great to see those on Mercy as well as the Tapon now. So we'll go get this immediately. Actually have alignment right into another alignment. Ideally we would have gotten a kill there though. Would have been very helpful, as that is needed to get this team rolling. But we'll just go take that skull, get the kill secured, and as long as we have alignment here, that should be good to go. That'll give us the last of the mana we need. Ideally we'd have 1 more to go into here, but we don't have it yet, and we still don't have it. Might need to go get a Hellcat in here just to kind of clear out the board a little bit. We don't need all these greens just laying around, so we'll go get rid of all that. Ideally, we'll have something here. I do not believe we do, so we'll go grab that down. Take all that. Really wish we had a Glaceon right about now, but that's not even going to matter. We'll take that, and down it goes off the very heavy Doomstorm. And speaking of Glaceon, I actually am going for that into the other team. So for the third team here, we'll go into the... we have... Oh yeah, we're running the Glaceon with the Ice Goblin Goblin Rocket combo. I've been actually really enjoying that combo a lot. It's really, really cheap and just very functional. And this thing just feeds it immediately all the mana it needs. Don't even really need a Glaceon here. The Glaceon's here mainly just to speed up the battle. Essentially, all we really need is this red convert into the explosions that we get off this, mass extra turns, keep freezing them into the Goblin Rocket control, and that alone is enough to actually win out the battle. The Glaceon's basically just there to ideally speed up the battle. A little bit of a bad start though. Not much we could take. A lot of board control though once we really get going. We'll go take that. Still don't have what we need, nor can we actually drop it, surprisingly, despite everything that we do have for it. That blue, I guess we'll just take manually. Still don't believe we have anything that we could really convert around, so we'll probably just go for that explosion then. Don't have any drops anywhere, so this will hopefully clear out the board a little bit so we can at least drop something. And that appears to not be the case yet. I could try doing this over here, and I believe that is what we're going to be going for, just in an attempt to try to get something cascaded off the top. So we'll go do that right there. Did not get what we need, and is definitely not worth going for here. So we're just going to try for a purple or brown surge. Didn't even get that. Come on now, game. Give us something here. So we'll go and still don't have the alignment. Not even worth doing because he's going to get an automatic extra turn there. So we'll just manually take our move and should be okay from here. So that alignment's just sitting there. We'll go for that immediately. And let's see. We'll need to clear the board some because, of course, as soon as we clear out all of our color, we'll need to go and actually have a way to get it back. Because right now, after we convert out all the reds, there's obviously no reds left on the board for us to really be able to use until we convert it out again. And we'll take an explosion, get a pretty good chain reaction here. We don't even technically need to have alignment here if we don't want to. We do have it though, so we'll do that in the corner. But we could just throw it and then just do it with the follow-up the following turn to go get something like this down. And then just instantly kill it out. So we'll go for the other little poke. See if we can get another cascade anywhere. Does not look like it from what I could see. So we'll just go clear out the board just a little bit. We of course have that convert, which will keep getting our mana up every single time. I feel like we could actually use even one more thing that uses red on this team. You do get a lot of red excess. It's why I was using Queen Titania earlier too. Queen Titania in particular, if you have it laying around, really insane with this new one. 0 mana conflict, and you just get it rolling pretty much from turn 1 most of the time, assuming you actually had the alignment to get it going. Okay, so right here, I guess we'll just go and take that free skull. You don't actually get a Doom Skull out of it, but it's still worth it. And we'll grab that, grab the other one, and then we'll just do this into one more Glaceon, and that should pretty much wrap it. Do we have it? No, we do not. Is that even worth going for the blue mana? Probably is, because we get to convert afterwards. And lucky extra turn right there, allowing us to go take right into that Doom Skull as well. And I guess we'll just clear that out one more time. Don't have any alignments we actually need. And now we do, and that should be enough. So we'll go for it, and down it goes. So yeah, that's pretty much what they look like. And just real quick, I guess we'll go and use the Viper. I didn't actually bother building a team for it, but you know what? We'll go give it a shot. So let's go build it from scratch real quick. We'll go build something, I guess. Let's just go into Mr. Skills and see what we could bring out of it. Naga. Where'd it go? Where did the Nagas go? There you are. So, right under this, we need ourselves a Viper. Come into our team. We must upgrade you and get you to the point where we can actually use you. So we'll get that in there. Boom. So I got that upgraded. Go into there. Get the levels that we need. Go. And now with that, let's go and get ourselves... Let's see. How should we play this? We could actually play this the same way that we played the other one then. We could go with a... play it slightly different actually. We'll go with the Ragnagord. Oh yeah, I forgot we have it set under Nagas, so we can't get it fail. So we'll get a Naga. We'll get the... so we put the Viper there. We'll get the Ragnagord there. We'll get the... I forget his name. Or at least I'll spell it. We'll get him in there. We'll send him later. And then we just need one other component, which would be basically anything to kind of keep that going. So I guess a Queen Titania, just so we get the little bit extra damage in there. And let's see what that will do. If I'm not mistaken, actually, I don't know how that interacts. I forget if Queen Titania's Fairy Fire actually boosts based on that. I'm not fully certain on that. 2 different banners we could go here. Brown, red, or since we don't use yellow, I guess we will lean more towards that. Gets our Queen Titania up a little bit better too. And again, you know what? Let's just stick with double red. I feel like I'm running double red on a lot of these, but just because, same reason that you would run double yellow on a Mercy, it just tends to work out as one of the better options. Anyways, let's go use this Viper at least once. I'll feel bad if I don't use it at all, the new troop. It is 100% useless, but I do at least want to show it some. So we'll go and I almost just used this as if it was a Mercy fail. The first instinct I saw was like, oh, we got yellow to purple alignment. Gotta go take it. No, that's not something we can do. Not with this team. So we'll clear that out. We'll get this up so we can get our Naga down. So this is targetable charm. One downside to this, though, is we won't ever actually be able to hit that since it's stealthy. But, yeah, we can target this, and it'll basically just do its damage to the adjacents. What I really want to see here, though, is can we get an extra turn anywheres and get to the point where we get one of them Fairy Fired? Because I actually forget if it does boost based on Fairy Fire. If it doesn't, then that makes it even worse, of course. Can we get any alignment whatsoever? Doesn't even matter what's on. There we go. And now I just need to make sure we get our hit on it. So that one is Fairy Fired. So with that being said, we could go into the skull and get all that as a drop. So no. Yes. No, because I could just Queen Titania kill it. There should be enough off the boost ratio. So the next plan is then, we throw this at this and see if it actually does the extra damage. So it does 29, and it doesn't. It does not, Charm does not get boosted by Fairy Fire. So yeah, that's pretty useless. It was already pretty useless, but that makes it even more useless. Okay, we got our amount that we need. Just clear all that out, and we'll just need one more to get it going. Or not get it going, but to finish it out. I can actually go for that again, and this time it will double kill, almost triple kill. And I guess we're getting a little bit of value out of that, so we'll go for that. And that's pretty much match. We're actually going to do something really weird, and we're going to kill it with the 3 damage that it does when we cast a spell before the spell even hits it. So if we put it down to a lower speed, I wonder if it will do the same thing that oh, what's his name? That a Yagway will do, where it does that weird animation thing when you kill it beforehand. Yeah, as you can see, we killed it before we even hit with the ability. Because that 3 damage ended up triggering before the actual ability hits it itself. That actually could be useful, if I'm not mistaken, since it does interact that way. One purpose that it could have, and literally the only one purpose that her trait could have, that a Kraken wouldn't be able to do, or no other troop would kind of be able to do in a similar way, is that could remove barrier before you actually land your hit. So if you're up against something, let's say you only had 1 enemy left, like in that instance, and they had a barrier on, well, that ability that we just did would have still hit it through the barrier, because the 3 damage that we triggered off her ability, off her final trait, would have triggered onto that troop before the damage actually applied. So I guess that is the one and literally only use for her, because targetable charm is pretty much useless. You might as well just be using a different charmer, and her amount of damage that she does is pointless. The fact that she poisons is pointless, and the rest of her traits that aren't that final ability are pointless as well. So yeah, not really that exciting of a new legend, but definitely really, really nice glory. At least they gave the better troop as the one that's pretty much free when it comes to glory. So definitely go get the Typhon. But as far as the legend, I would definitely hold off. Horrible week to go through event keys unless you just want it for collection purposes and stuff. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you guys still have any other questions about anything, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.